Stop drawing attention to it. I'm trying to
We've had some cool suggestions like Kingdom Clash 3, Tokyo Drift, but Kingdom Clash.
You should have called it
Two Kingdom 2 Clash. Basically anything that theme.
So
Yeah, but you never call
what
me Poop
ad break are
McCool.
you using now?
No, but your fans know you was Poops
I don't
McCool.
care.
They've recognised you on the site.
don't
You're like, stop
care.
it, stepfan. Help, stepfan, I'm stuck in a ball. Hey folks, welcome to episode 41 of NemCast. In today's episode, we're joined by Lil Juicy and Poops McCool. We're going to be doing the Clash 2 review. Clash has been and gone. We're going to discuss how it went, what we're going to do to improve it, and what the plan is roughly for next year. Obviously, there's more podcasts on that to come. So, brief ad break, and we'll be right back. Cheers, chap. Hey folks, just want to take a brief minute of your time in this ad break to talk about a company called White Sphere Tactical. Now, these guys came out to Kingdom Clash 2 to support us, and they didn't have to take that risk, but they did. So I really do appreciate it, and this is just a brief ad break just to say thank you mostly. So if all of my subscribers and viewers of this video could just take the time to go over to their social media, so Instagram, Facebook, and their YouTube channel, which they've got some quite cool content on there, to go and drop them a like and subscribe, that'd be really appreciated. All the links are in the description below. Now on their website they've got a full range of kit, be it rifles, kit, consumables, everything you'll ever need as an airsoft player. It's very fast, prompt delivery, and they're very good to deal with as people. So I really do recommend that. Also they've got a CQB site which you can find all the links and the relevant stuff in their website in the description below. So if it's worth a visit, or if you've been yourself, put it in the comments below and let me know, and I'll probably plan a visit there myself. So that being that, enjoy the rest of the episode. I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers, chaps. And we're back. So, Clash 2, it's been and gone. It wasn't stressful. Dare I say, first year for me was really fucking stressful because I had no idea what I was doing. We've learnt a lot. The team pulled together and it was fucking flawless for me. I mean, there's going to be the odd complaint and problem, but there was no major complaints, which was very strange. I was on edge.
No, it ran fluid the whole weekend. It was good.
I think it was very funny. I think it was the Saturday night because I went down to the Bentley Brook beer thing to get a pint, and you're like half cut, and you just went, something's going wrong. It's like, what? It's like, it's gone too well. Something's going to happen. You were like half drunk, going like panicking.
Yes, I was in like a state of mild panic because nothing had happened yet. Bad.
And it never did.
No, it never did. It was very strange driving home afterwards going, it went well. Fuck, it went well. But, you know, before I go any further, I just want to make sure everyone who was involved, big thank you. Tropic Thunder lads, the Marshall team, the vendors who turned up, the photographers, all of it was fantastic. Everyone pulled together, did a fantastic job. So hopefully it runs again that smooth again next year. We get pretty much the same team involved. Yeah. And we should have a good time. We're going to tweak a few bits though, aren't we? So how did you find the Saturday, Greg? Because did you play most of the Saturday?
I played all of Saturday. I was knackered, so I didn't do the shooting comp or the Thunderdome. I was just stood on the tower shouting at people, trying to rile them up. 2 monsters and smelling salts within half an hour will really bring back the energy. But that was fun. The game, it was like, yeah.
It was just a big pushback game, really, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was a lot more difficult for the attacking team because it was all uphill.
Yeah, that's.
I know you've said you're going to revise for next year.
Yeah, that was a mistake because in my head I went, we'll do a pushback game. Now the idea with the pushback game on Saturday morning was to see how the team balances, because I was just split the team, the crowd down the middle. One was red, one was blue, and then we could gauge team balance, and hopefully there would have been enough time for a switch round, so it was like a attack and defend kind of thing, but a pushback game. And the first mistake I made it go up fucking hill like an idiot. I shouldn't have done, and I apologise for that. Next year I'm going to make sure it's a downhill pushback game, so the attackers aren't having to literally push up through the side.
Well, I mean, it was kind of the same for the defenders, though, wasn't it? Because you still had to retreat uphill as well.
You still had to retreat. So next.
Yeah, but when you're like defending, it's a bit more of a pace.
You have a bit more downtime.
A bit more of a bimble. Yeah. So.
I think the respawn system for the Saturday worked fine.
Yes.
But again, like I said, I just want to make sure the Saturday morning pushback game, it's going to stay as a staple. I like it. It worked.
Yes.
It wasn't too serious. Ben's moved the mic. And yeah, we're just going to sort of revise it and tweak it a little bit. So downhill mostly, and make sure we've got a bit more time. So we'll probably move the lunchtime break forward a touch, I think. So, you know, instead, I think it was 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that was lunch break.
Yeah.
We'll probably make it
I
like
think
2.
People were still ready and riding, you know what I mean? So a couple more hours, I think, would do them good.
Yeah, and the Saturday we were well prepared with water and everything, so I didn't see that as an issue, really.
No, I mean, there was a couple of times on the Sunday that people were asking me for water. It's like, we've given out like 300 bottles.
Yeah, there was a lot of water we gave out.
Also, we've probably said this before, but don't wear full plate armour when it's like 20 plus degrees outside.
Yeah, no,
we saw people doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
If you can, fair to play to you, but oof.
Yeah, we said to people, don't get overgeared because it's going to be a hot day. People still went out in a full helmet, full plate carrier, the lot. And fair play to them if that's what they want to do. But the Marshall team, all the staff, everyone was just throwing bottles of water.
Yeah, everyone's like watching out for each other and making sure no one's like dehydrating or like sunstroke or anything like that.
Yeah, after each objective, there was like someone sat in between like the next one, giving water out from a Vic.
Yeah.
Now, did you play the Saturday morning game, or were you?
Yeah, no, I played all the Saturday.
What did you think?
Good. I couldn't fault it at all.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, were you attacking or defending?
I was defending.
So you wouldn't have been too knackered.
No, it was nice. It was paceable. It ran smooth.
Yeah. Now,
there's nothing bad to say.
Thunder Games. What do you reckon? Do you think it worked?
It worked. It got a lot of attention, but I think a lot of people decided to just go and get pissed a bit too early on, which is a bit of a shame. You know, I think we had 30
or 40 people down there. The shooting comp went smooth. It was fully expected to be fair. The Tropic team as such just ran it immaculately. Thunder Games went well as a whole. The Thunderdome was fine. I really enjoyed that. I think the shooting comp was great. I really liked how it played. And then we immediately started getting people ready for the Thunderdome. And that was the main concern for me, because year one, we ran the shooting comp and we'd already sort of established this as a working thing. And all the Tropic lads did was just tweak it and improve it slightly to make it a bit more fluid, which it seemed to work.
Yeah.
Obviously, I wasn't too involved in that. But the Thunderdome itself, which was the game straight after shooting comp, I was a little bit not on the fence about it. I was nervous for it because it's a bit of a new concept for us. We've never tried it, and it seemed to work.
It worked really well.
Yeah,
I've not seen any bad feedback about it.
Sorry. The guy with the Mosin.
Yes, Balti. Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, that dude was fucking awesome.
Yes, if we've got some footage, I'll throw some up. I don't think we've got any released yet by AP. But essentially how it worked was there was random teams of 2.
Stop drawing attention to it. I'm trying to
So random teams of 2, and it was like a bit of a league table type thing, so a process of elimination.
That's the one thing. I can't remember exactly what happened, but it's like a team entered like halfway through.
Yes, I think they had to do like a restart.
Rejig it a bit, so that was...
Next time, I think it's probably a poignant decision to do is to make sure we pre-organise the teams before lunch.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it's difficult as well because you want to mix it up so it's like get different people together, so it's not like me and you doing it. It would be like me and
I liked the
else.
random player aspect.
Yeah, the random player aspect really worked.
I don't know if you'll see it in the footage, but there was actually communication between players.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're actually shouting to each other. He's there. He's there.
Yeah, it seemed to work really well.
And, it worked.
And I noticed the players who competed as teams, as random teams, I saw them chatting later that day, so that the social aspect of it worked perfectly.
Yeah. As intended.
Socialist.
Yeah. Don't insult me. Anyway, so the thing that really made me really happy about that aspect as well is when we got the people in the second stories cheering on.
Yeah.
That sort of what's the right word? The vibe of the whole feel.
It set
of it.
the atmosphere.
The atmosphere.
Yeah,
was
because everyone's
spot
like
on.
cheering, shouting,
giving them
jeering.
shit and having a beer.
I mean, like I say, there was the tower in the middle. I was on there with some of the Tropic lads, and we're just like encouraging and shouting.
Yeah, the lads were losing their voices rapidly.
Yeah.
It was quite funny.
You were as well.
was-
I gave him a megaphone for the entire weekend, and he didn't use it. And he's like, at the end of the week, he's like, I can't speak.
That's something I'll address.
He didn't want to use it because he doesn't like holding something in front of his face and he can't see people. It's the weirdest explanation for not using something
I didn't
I've
like
ever
it.
heard. It's weird.
I've got quite a quiet voice and a very monotone voice, painfully aware, and yeah. And
Well, he uses his hands.
Greg had brought a megaphone, so I could hold the megaphone up, but I couldn't see the crowd, and it made me feel all icky. I didn't like it at all.
I don't get that.
I just no. So next
Could you not
time,
just like
next time I'm going to get the megaphone
look
with one of
round?
them mics on it.
No, it has one, but I lost it.
so you can just hold it and just
Yeah. No, it did come with one, but I lost it.
That's not
So-
very helpful.
No, and now I know that you don't like it. I'm not going to look for it.
But yeah, overall, I think the Saturday as a whole, thus as far as we've got. So the morning game was fine. Lunch break worked great, generally speaking. Next year I will have 2 food vendors. That's a whole different fucking kettle of fish. I did order 2, but one of them had a paddy and went home.
Was that the original one from last year?
No, the original one.
It was no. It was,
Yeah,
the
it
one
was the
from
original
last
ladies
year,
from last
wasn't
year. And you
Oh
know
yeah,
what?
the one that stayed was from last year, but
Yeah,
the
I'm
one
not
that
going to drag them through the dirt. It's up to them if they didn't want to come.
we're not
But,
going to name them because we're not like that.
No.
And they're not Anzio, so we don't hold a grudge. But yeah, it was just unfortunate.
Yeah, that was the only major hiccup really. Is we lost a food vendor, so we were stuck with one. But they seem to cope. But next year, one thing I'd like to do is make sure we have 2 food vendors all weekend and a more variety. So the food van that was there was fine. I'd quite like a pizza van or
Yeah, the
something
problem
more
I
for the
found
afternoons
a
and
taco
lunchtime.
van on a weekend camping was not optimal for my IBS.
No.
So I chose to opt out of having a taco. But it would have been lovely otherwise, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the irritable bowel squad
Yeah.
suffered that weekend.
Sorry, you're going to have a curry and you're going to suffer then.
Yes.
That's anyway.
I can eat mayonnaise and stuff, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's bad.
So next year we'll aim at 2 food vans. Bentley Brook van staple now.
Yeah,
That
I
was
think that
shit
needs to
hot.
continue
Yeah.
for lifelong.
Yeah, definitely. We'll keep just pestering them and making them
Yeah.
turn up.
Oh no, they fucking love going there.
Yeah. Well, they get to have a
Like-
bit of fun, something different for
Yeah,
them.
I think in time we'll actually get them playing as well.
Oh, we'll drag them out. We'll drag them out eventually. One thing I'd like to do next year is, so if we have the Thunder games again, I'm going to make sure that the Bentley Brook lads have enough staff on so they can leave one member of staff at the beer stand during lunchtime, get another one of them to come down to the actual Thunder game
Experience
area
it, yeah.
and brings their own line, because they've got their own tin beers, so they can set up like a little mini stand and just
See,
sell
I
to
think
the
that
punters.
was a big theme because a lot of the lads, when me and Ross went back with Logan, there was people there like drinking and we're like, oh, you want to come and watch it? Oh, we'll have to bring the yeah, of course you are. And we had like 10 people that,
Yeah, we're
that
doing
came
that.
Yeah,
down.
as long as you're not playing and you're using iPro. Yeah.
Yeah, I think having someone there to hand out to the punters, to the viewers, was a massive would be a massive aspect.
Yeah. It will certainly help for next year. It's like I said, it's small improvements. It's a learning curve. This is only our second event, so in the grand scheme of things, I don't think we're doing too bad.
No,
The night game, I didn't take part in that, did you?
no, I didn't know.
Did you? You didn't, did you?
I
You were staggering around in the field.
was not out of drunkenness, out of tiredness,
Yes.
because
But-
I was running around all day.
I think from what I heard, the night game was a good laugh. People who went out seemed to come back in a
Yeah.
good mood. It's a pretty good staple. It gets Envy's name out there, which is good for them.
BT finally managed to get a little bit of revenge as well.
Yes, on Big Jord.
Yes, when he full autoed him and then overshot him even more.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just heard that he finally got Jordan.
Oh,
I
no,
didn't
he-
hear about
Apparently, he sat behind the berm, and apparently Jordan was like squirming about, and he lit him up, and then he was dead, but like didn't want to peek up, so he just kept lighting him up, and eventually he stood up and went, "I'm already dead," you know.
Oh, BT.
Yes,
BT
but he
ran
got
bad.
him, so props to him.
Yeah.
No.
Next year, George's going to get revenge. you'll see.
Yeah, and another knife kill.
Yeah, with his little finger.
Horrifying. But yeah, so overall Saturday I was really happy with it. I will say there was a few noise complaints on Saturday, so what we're thinking of doing next year is Saturday night. We're probably going to make sure there's a quiet area for camping, and I'll marshal it a bit more stringently.
I know you don't like naming and shaming, but can I?
No. No, I don't think I will.
Yeah.
Oh, on the note of consequences for actions, the cheating rule that one of the marshals brought in,
Yes.
phenomenal.
What rule? Sorry.
Pink tape.
The pink tape.
Yes, I think we did have someone. Didn't
we?
we as well? I think there was someone.
I didn't see anyone.
I heard wind about there was someone.
Because I was going to say, everyone playing was like, I heard no complaints about anyone's
The thing
gameplay
is, there's
at
loads
all.
of people on site. You see, it's difficult to
There's
get to
loads
speak
of
to every
people.
single
No,
one.
there's loads of people on site, and what we always say is that shit spreads. So when one person starts, it starts like gathering and that.
Momentum,
and,
yeah.
But I didn't hear shit about anyone.
No.
So-
Long story short is, during the safety brief, the pink tape rule was introduced. So, generally speaking, if you're caught cheating by a marshal, so first time you'll get a warning, second time if you get caught cheating, like a marshal hit, something like that, you get brought back into the safe zone and covered in pink tape, bright pink high-vis tape, on your gun, on your arms, on your hat, everything. And everyone there knows you're covered in pink tape, therefore you're a cheater. And you get to go back out there under your own volition and on your own head be it. And it seemed to work.
Well,
It's like
I believe
tarring
from
and
what I
feathering,
heard,
Yeah, tarring and
there was
feathering.
no overshooting rule against pink tapers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If
yeah.
someone had pink tape on, you shoot them until you feel necessary, type thing.
Yeah, it was one of those
Within safety,
you've
you know.
decided to
Yeah,
enter
don't,
yourself.
as
Within
close
safety
as- Not
aspects,
like I'm like this distance and I fall
Yeah,
also
It was one of those,
Yeah.
you've now been entered into big boy rules. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
But it seemed to work really well. So we'll definitely be using that next year. It was a good bit of fun as well during the safety brief.
I think
People
that's
got a
just a
chuckle
rule
out
that
of it.
Optac have anyway, isn't it?
It's the first time I've heard it.
I think it's the first time
I think
we used
since
it, but
all the new marshals have
Yeah.
set foot in, I think that has been.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cracking idea.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. So, yeah, I was really happy with all that. I will say there was a few instances of overkill. So, I am thinking of solutions for that. I'd rather not semi-lock everyone and make everyone run just
No.
LMGs. I can see
Semi-lock,
I
apart
was-
from, like Waldo said in the chat, semi-lock, LMGs are the only one with full auto, but within bursts, 3 to 4 second bursts, that's it.
Well,
Yeah.
how you use an LMG like in real life is you hold the trigger down while shouting "Die motherfucker die" and then you let go. So that kind of makes sense. But also, I'd say no semi-lock until, because I was talking to Ben about this earlier, like you reach a certain number of players. So if it's 200 or 300, because 300 people doing full auto, that's going to be
I think
a problem.
because
again, naff.
yeah,
You got 3,000 people full auto.
yeah,
It's
ass.
horrendous. So I think it should only be brought in when you have a large amount of players. So
Yeah,
like
I mean,
200, 300. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'll consider implementing a semi-lock rule for next year. It's going to depend on numbers of bookings and what people think. If you guys think the semi-auto rule for normal rifles and then auto for LMGs is a good idea, just pop it in the comments below, let me know, or DM me on WhatsApp, something like that. Just to make sure you're happy, because it's our event, but we want to make sure the players are enjoying it.
I mean, I've got
That's
no
key.
problem with semi-lock anyway.
No, I mean, I run semi most of the time anyway.
I think every event I've ever played at has been that, and it's run smooth.
Yeah, yeah.
I was a bit pissed off getting lit up, and like head to toe of full auto where someone's just done that up my body.
We always get a few instances, but thankfully you get that on normal skirmish day.
Yeah.
And it's, again, second event, when we're talking
Yeah.
about minor things like making an uphill game in the morning downhill, simple things, just basic
It's
marshalling
something
principles.
to consider for next year.
Yeah, it's just easy fix stuff. There was nothing major. So that pretty much concludes Saturday, really. It went really well. Really happy. There's a few simple fixes I want to do. I want to make sure the toilets are open. All the toilets are open, which was my mistake. I should have checked it. It's just one oversight. On the Friday night, we didn't have both blocks open. But yeah, overall, I think it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, that being that, we'll take a brief break and then we'll jump on to the things for Sunday. And then we'll sort of consider a bit of planning for next Clash, maybe.
Clash
we'll
3,
we'll
yes.
choose some ideas over. But yeah,
The Goon War.
back in a minute. And we're back. Done the big sip. So, let's start on the Sunday. So, we've subbed Greg out, mostly because he chilled out on the Sunday. You were sort of sat with me, weren't you?
I was very, very tired.
Yes. So, you were one IC
Yes.
for the Rhodesians. and you were just a player, I believe.
Yeah, play was good.
So thoughts for Sunday? How did you find it? So essentially it ran was like a battle sim light.
Yeah.
So we had the WhatsApp group going to give out the latest objectives, and then I had comms to Jord, who was the one IC. I was the one IC of the OPLA, and I also had comms to the Marshall team, and it seemed to run pretty smooth.
I think in terms of, Marshall to Marshall or me to you, comms wise, perfect. Couldn't have been better. There was a bit of spottiness with comms later on in the afternoon. We struggled to reach each other a couple of times, but I think that was just
it wasn't anything major.
the forest for you.
Now, we didn't really get in and play, but you were playing, weren't you, Harry?
Yeah, so I had an awesome time with the Strix Airsoft team. It was,
They seem like good boys.
Yeah, lots of pyro, lots of LMGs. I mean, I was running my LPD as well, so we were sort of hunkered in at the hilltop fort and just basically held it, and there was just grenades flying.
How did you find the objectives played?
They were well timed, I'd say.
I know what a weak point of it was the respawn.
The respawn
Yes,
was a bit difficult up the hill.
Yeah, that is something we're going to adjust. So this year what we did was, it was a bit of an oversight on my part, which I'll sort of see to for next year, is I thought 2 medics then respawn seemed like a good idea, because it gives people more time in the field. Then we do respawn, they go back to FOB to get a bottle of water and a snack. That was my thinking. The stupid part is I put the FOBs at the top of the hill, because OPTAC is essentially a big fucking bowl. And all the objectives are in the bottom of the bowl, and the FOBs are at the periphery of the bowl, which is at the top. So next year, one thing I'm going to implement is respawn posts, which is an idea. It's not my original idea by any means. I think it's 6mm Airsoft. They're the ones who I've seen them do it, and it seems to work really well. So we'll use something like that, probably a piece of high-vis painted scaffing
You can
pole.
even get like a barrel. Paint a barrel.
My thought pattern was, if I get like a plant pot, something like that, and some postcrete, and a high-vis scaffing pole, because then make it so the marshals can lift it, put it on the trucks if we want to move them about for any other event or skirmish days, whatever it might be. But it's heavy enough where if kids break onto the land during the week, they can't fuck about with them.
I don't think it was that bad though, because mostly it was just mainly, got the long slog up the hill after you've had your 2 medics in
It would certainly be easier if you knew there was a respawn post fairly
even
close
just
by.
objective points where you can drop them and know that they're safe, rather than having to slog the objectives back up the hill.
Yeah, we can figure that bit out later. I think what I was thinking of doing is making it so each team, because each team did technically have a vehicle, just for ferrying people around mostly, we could make it so, each team's vehicle is equidistant from the objective, and they've got to get the thing back to the vehicle. So we'll probably try and make it so we try and reduce fatigue on players. Now, I think the gameplay overall worked well. How I did it was, we had a bit of an itinerary, and on that itinerary I had the objectives for the day. I stupidly put times on the itineraries, and then quickly realised my timings were completely off. So I essentially had to upload, tell all the marshals, look, ignore the timings on the list, I'll just adjust them to see as the game goes on.
Yeah.
Because the first 2 objectives fell fairly fast. So one thing I should have, I immediately did was started to increase the times by probably double. So what would have been a 5-10 minute hold turned into a 20 minute, half an hour hold, which seemed to be fine. So next year I'm going to do similar objectives, not exactly the same, I'll try and mix it up, but longer times, I think.
Yeah.
And then with those respawn posts being closer, that should help.
One thing I did notice in the morning was Airsoft is doing Airsofty things where they've deviated from the objective and basically gone to their spawn and
that's one thing. One thing we had was, don't bump each other's fobs, and shit's going to happen. People walked into each other's fobs. Thankfully, it was dealt with fairly fast. But it wasn't a major thing. It was just people getting in a firefight outside of a fob. So not literally in the fobs, but as they're coming out the spawn area. But I think that will be pretty much resolved
the whole
with respawn
of
posts.
the Rhodesians that were just trapped 20-30 metres from our fob for the first hour and a half of
I think
the day.
that was partly due to the fob placement as well, because we could either
It's
go
a
down into the
difficult-
hilltop or go along the top road.
It's a difficult site to place your fobs, because the way the roads are laid out, you've got 2 sort of entrance roads, obviously the main one from the safe zone and then the other one from gravel pits. So I sort of put the fobs there, but there's an interlinking road. So if either team pushed down that road, they could sort of block each other's spawns. So we just sort of made that not really in play.
Yeah, and then people still proceed.
There's always going to be. This is what I'm hoping the respawn post will alleviate. Now, my thinking is with the respawn post is as long as it's not contested. So, you know, if an enemy player is stood there, they've just respawned, let them piss off, and then you can respawn. Make sure it's not contested or under fire. Something simple like that. And we just have plenty of them. That should keep it fluid and
like you said about 6 mil, that's exactly what they do, and it works amazingly.
Flawlessly. Credit to them.
Uncontested post, respawn point, done. You know, dot 20 posts around the side, done.
But yeah, that was the main concern. The second concern was water. So I bought,
a lot.
Must have been 100 odd bottles of water.
I did a Costco trip, and that got taken by most of the boys. Obviously, it was filled them anyway.
Let's put it this way. I must have spent.
Hi, I'm the boys.
I must have spent 40 quid on just packs of water, and that went on just the Saturday. And when you spend 40 quid on just water, that's a fuckload of water. And even with all the warnings I gave out in all the prior podcasts and all the advertising we did, we said bring fucking water. People still didn't bring
the airsofters. What do you expect?
No.
The average airsofter doesn't plan for these.
No, they think that a can of White Monster and a cigarette
in the morning
is okay.
For lunch. Yes.
It was okay because I did it as well.
You're fairly good at this sort of stuff.
Supplement with
water
more
is so important.
Yeah, I can't stress that enough. This year, if it wasn't for us taking water out, people would have fucking gassed out on Sunday.
It was hot.
It was hot.
It was hot. And on Sunday, when supplies are low and people have been out the night before, and people just generally dehydrated. Yeah, there was.
So next year, I'm going to double down the water, but I will reiterate again for next year, for the love of God, bring multiple packs of water.
Get a backpack.
Write your name on the pack. Even a spare backpack, just chuck your cases of water in and take them out to the fobs with you. The idea is we have these fobs, which are just a gazebo area, which aren't bumpable, where you can store your backpacks with spare water and food and ammo. So you're not lugging it about the site. It's just to alleviate player fatigue. That's the plan.
As a player, though, seeing the comms between you two was glorious.
The comms seemed to work. Yeah, the Marshall team was bang on the money as well. Everyone got stuck in.
I didn't see any arguments at all, except for maybe when airsoft players were too deep, from where they were meant to be for the objective. Yeah. But that's about it. I mean, that's fairly reasonable.
Yeah, I think any number of people is going to be a level of fuck up.
The one struggle with Optac is phone signal.
Yeah.
So when we're doing live updates on WhatsApp, people aren't getting it. So when it's once you finish this objective, retreat back to your fob. And people didn't know this, so they'd still be out in 3 objective time, wrecking in the same place they were from the first objective.
I didn't take my phone out with me, I just sort of followed the crowd, and I think a lot of people did that as well.
Yeah,
I relied on other people's radio comms, which was fairly good.
So obviously, we're taking suggestions, so if you've got any suggestions for next year, please put them in the comments below, and I'll try and implement them. I'm not going to implement everything. If it's a fucking stupid idea, I'll just not do it. But I think it was Big Jord. He suggested each team has a comms channel number.
Yes.
So like a pre-programmed number, we can print it out, stick it on the fob, and then each team knows that's their comms channel. Don't use the other team's comm channel because that's a dick move. It's literally just so people who don't know what the fuck's going on can ask.
Just make it a standard Beofang.
Yeah, just a standard Beofang channel, and
it would carry a second radio. And if someone contacts someone on the radio and go, "What's the current objective?" me or you can relay that, or whoever else it is next year can relay that to the team.
I have to say though, personally as a player as well, Ben, your performance was amazing as the diamond mine, cobalt miner.
Well done to Ben, yes, 100%.
He put in
the
real effort.
You were ultimate
never broke character.
I am
fantastic.
So sad because obviously I was 1 IC for OPLA and I missed all that, and I really wish I could have seen it.
You know what would have made more sense? You being on the Rhodesian side, Mr. Rhodesia. And me being on OPLA.
It was just a bit of fun, really.
It's two teams. It's a bit of airsoft, isn't it?
Yeah,
the whole event was good, and I saw a lot of people dressed in that sort of camo, even if they were on OPLA or the
people put in effort with kits.
Yes.
Yeah, and
it's nice to see.
we said from day dot we're just going to do colour separations of teams and do a team split, and I feel that worked pretty well, because let's be honest, you're wearing certain camos, certain loadouts, so when you get a picture and you look back at it, you go, God, I look cool.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit on the day. It doesn't matter.
All the pictures that have been coming out recently as well are fantastic.
Yeah. Airsoft project, very good.
Project, fantastic
really good.
job. I believe Carrington's done a few bits as well.
Yeah, he's not really released anything yet, has he?
I think that's to come. But overall, I'm really happy with how things have gone, and genuinely thank you to all the people who came and attended, and all the staff. It was absolutely amazing.
I think at one point you were panicked. You were like, things are going too well. Something's
I
about to
mentioned
happen.
that in part one on the Saturday.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't.
The whole time I had an underlying sense of dread because things were going too smooth. And you know when you leave the house and you know you forgot to do something, but you don't know what the fuck it is, and you know you're going to get in trouble with the missus later. I had that feeling of impending doom, like I'd forgot to do something. I was just expecting something to go wrong, but thankfully it didn't. But yeah, it went far too surpassed my expectations in how smooth it
I think
went.
a lot of it's down to the players as well. The player base that was there was.
The player base
They knew what they were
good.
signing up to.
It was all locked in. The staff knew exactly what they were doing. They were locked in. It was well run. Everyone pulled a good shift.
And it
was
wasn't
fine.
down to experience. There was some newer players there that really felt welcome, I think, over the weekend.
Yeah, I think there was some really. I will say, just as a side note, there was some really wholesome content coming from it as well. Like
Yes.
a father and his son went, and it was like the first weekender, and they had a wicked time.
Yeah.
Stuff like that makes you go, yeah. That's
Well,
one of the
it
reasons
was
we're doing
like
it.
when I overheard them talking about the shooting comp. Like, Dad, I'm going to beat you, and he's like, no, I'm going to beat you.
Yeah.
I think
And
he
it's-
did in the end,
yeah,
didn't he?
yeah, no, he did beat him, yeah. So it's stuff like that, wholesome content, and the social and everything about it just came together.
Yeah, it just
That's what
worked.
you
absolutely
set out to
perfectly.
do, and really glad that it's come to light.
It's everything I wanted from NAF, but what never came from NAF. I expected like a really good community event at NAF, and NAF is just a big piss up in a field.
Yes.
Which,
But don't get me wrong, alcohol was consumed,
oh god,
but
yeah,
that wasn't
Not
the
on game
main
day, though.
reason people went. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It
We're
was
trying to build that social
the
event.
social, but it had the good gameplay that NAF doesn't have.
Yeah, that's what we're homing in on, and we'll continue to do so. Now, one thing I don't want to forget is the businesses that attended. Fantastic. Thank you for supporting it. And if you can come back next year, that'd be greatly appreciated, because we just keep intending on growing this thing on merit. This event is going to be entirely based on merit. I'm not going to clout chase with big names. We did have a few big names come, such as I think Dave Jewett from EXP, but that was more of a chance meeting, and it was his first Airsoft game, and we've made a new friend. That's sort of how it goes. But we're trying not to turn our event into a big clout chasing thing where we shout out big names, because if the guest doesn't turn up, it's a flop. So I'd much rather build the event purely based on merit and grow it off reputation. So if it wasn't for the vendors supporting and all the staff supporting, it wouldn't be where it is now in year two, as successful as it is in year two.
The White Sphere stand,
White Sphere lads did a shit hot job.
the stand was impressive.
Yeah,
I mean, the pure
There was a lot of
quantity
variation.
they
Had
have.
yeah.
everything and everything more.
And they were happy to speak to you as well. Even
Yeah,
if
you can have a
weren't,
nice chat about things. You can have 20 minutes just chinwag with them,
Yeah.
just talking about absolutely nothing but airsoft at the. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
smaller vendors like our friend Airsoft, I think he did all right over the weekend.
yeah, he made his bread, didn't he? It's like I think Surefire guys went up there. There's a few of them, and sorry if I've missed your name. I'm shit with names. So, but if you were a vendor at Clash, just pop comment below so people know
And
you were
the, and
there.
the food vendors as well. I mean, it was consistent,
vendor.
but that's really good.
Yeah, they did good.
They had everything.
It's
You had
just
burgers, you had
everything seemed to
tacos.
come together. If you'd like to see anything specific in the safe zone for next, specific. Anything particular in the safe zone next year, let us know. If you'd like to see a certain vendor, go out to them, say, look, there's an event on next year. It's a growing event. Get your arse over there. It's cheap pitches. We're trying to keep the pitches nice and cheap. There's no size limit on pitches either. I know on the website it had a size limit, but it's really
the
just
full
so someone
car
doesn't
park,
bring. Yeah, it's really so someone doesn't bring an entire fucking gigantic marquee. But if you want to bring, say, a triple size gazebo, it's fine. There's plenty of room. We can make space. One thing I'm going to change for next year is the indoor pitches. We'll probably change it to something like rent a gazebo. If you don't have your own gazebo but you've got a small business, I'll make sure we've got a couple of spare gazebos that you can just rent for the cost of an extra 10 or 20 quid, whatever it is. But overall, I think most of it worked all right.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah, faultless.
The camping pods all sold out as well. I really didn't expect.
Yeah,
them to
no,
shift, to be
I
honest.
wanted one of them, but by the time I looked, it was
Yeah,
too late.
they'd all bloody gone, and yeah, they always go down a treat as well. I had no
I had a
issue with
look
that.
in Keith's, immaculate.
They
Yeah.
are, they're
You know,
good.
it was like a 5-star hotel
They're
inside.
You had
meant,
a fire
aren't they?
pit going every night.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, big coof.
I think next year, as
Lovely
soon as they go
Keith.
live, I think anyone that is considering it should get on it straight
Yeah,
away.
definitely. I mean, we're going to be doing early bird tickets for next year, so it'll be slightly cheaper than initial booking price because you're booking early. That'll only be running for so long, and yeah, you make sure you book your camping pods early if you do want one, because they are going to go quick next year. Now, is there anything else we can think of? We'll take a quick pause, we'll review, and we'll be right back.
White Sphere, shooting comp,
so
prizes.
we're going to jump back in time a bit.
Social-
We're back
social.
in. So the social aspect was fantastic. How did you find the evenings?
Good. I mean, I'll be honest, I got early nights on both nights. So I stayed up until I'd probably say about 11:30 both nights. But the social aspect, you know, with Bungle and his friends that he bought.
His first time.
Around first time
First time
all
ever
of his
meeting.
friends first time like coming to the event. We all got on with them great. You had the fire pit, music going. I mean, I'm not going to say that we weren't one of the reasons why it was a bit loud on the Saturday, minus Ross.
Guess who?
But the fire pit and the music and everyone having a good time, we just sort of did get carried away with it.
I laughed
with
and
the noise
laughed
a
that
bit.
night.
What I'm going to try and encourage people to do next year is we'll have a few more fire pits down by the beer area, the beer stand. I'll make sure we've got all if we can, a few more benches, things like that. One thing I'd like to organise is a bit of coverage for around the beer area,
Yes.
something like tents, something like that, just in case it rains. Because year one it did drizzle, year two was thankfully.
It
I
was
think we had a
great.
smattering of drizzle on, was it Saturday night or Sunday? I can't remember now.
Tiny
Tiny bit, but nothing nothing to make you go put a jacket on, kind of thing. But that is something I'm keeping in mind. But what I'm going to try and do is push more people away from their own, not away from their own fire pits, but more towards the pub area.
Get people out of the field that are
Yeah.
just chinwagging on their own and get everyone together in this
it creates
area.
a cool environment. How I'm going to do that is yet to be decided. Again,
Loading
suggestions, comments below.
But shout out to Bentley Brook. as
Alcohol
well.
on hard standing only.
No, that's too. No, because then we can't do Thunderdome, can we, with the
true,
punters?
true. Never mind.
Yeah, Bentley Brook again, the second year.
I'll
They're
tell-
just fantastic.
I'll tell you what I might do in the briefing in the mornings, that sort of thing. I'll say, look, if you're going to be noisy up till the late hours, go sit by the beer van.
Yeah.
You know, that's where it's okay.
When
to
you
be
It's,
noisy.
it's away from all the
Have
camping.
a quiet
It's
camping
secluded.
area. I know it's a bit cringe saying, quiet
Quiet
camping.
camping, that's a whole different
Yeah.
story. But
Inside joke, but
it's-
encourage people to, if they are wanting a good night's sleep, maybe camp in a different area and just say, look, this is loud camping. Because we weren't the only ones.
I think the
Just keep pyro away from Ross and fire.
where
Yeah.
you know the bit that we walked in when we turned obviously left to go to the TP. That area should be loud camping or
and the
no
bit
restriction to
further
noise.
back up the field.
And the one you know when you
On the right.
as if you're leaving and on the right there there's its own
There's a separate field with
Yeah.
a
there's,
ditch. Which
there's,
is
Yeah, yeah.
there's a tree line in between. them
yeah
as
true.
well.
I think that would be quiet camping.
Yeah, possibly. We could map it out because the players have asked for a site map. We gave them a site map, but I think a more detailed site map with
Little
the
bit of
camping
signage
area
left-
and a bit of
left loud.
signage.
Right.
We'll get it all
Quiet.
sorted. It's not rocket science. But watch your knocking table with your leg.
Sorry.
It's going to come through as a
Sadism.
bum. But overall, I think the social was bang on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone
Couldn't have
seemed
been
to be
better.
having a good time in the evenings. It was fine. Now, one thing we haven't covered is the shooting comp and Thunderdome prizes and how it all worked. So we'll quickly review that and be right back. And we're back. So the shooting comp and the Thunderdome, obviously shooting comp was prizes. So we had, for the first prize, it was a choice between two guns. We had the SA-58 fully upgraded by myself with a year's warranty, brushless motor, fancy MOSFET, the full kit and caboodle, or an AKM E&L. Again, same deal, brushless motor, year's warranty, all the rest of it. That was your first prize. Second prize was, what was it? BBs,
BBs and a hat.
And a pint.
And a pint.
A pint, yes, because I bought a roll of raffle tickets, which was a fucking mistake because my bar bill was high. And it was basically just a raffle ticket for a free pint for taking part, kind of thing. So that was the second prize. Third prize was just some BBs, I think or just a hat.
BBs and a pint. That
Yeah,
was
BBs
without
and a
the
pint.
hat.
That was it. Now the Thunderdome.
The last prize.
Yeah, the last prize for the shooting comp was a legendary moment. I've never seen so many people chant cheese in their life, ever. I've never seen it, and it was a spectacle. I enjoyed it. So what I did was I bought just a block of cheese for the dunce prize, the slowest time, and it was the player favourite, which was Balti. Now this guy's now reached legendary status.
Yeah, no, that man's a celebrity at Optac now.
Yeah,
I think
he's great.
Didn't you convince him to make his own YouTube
I think
channel?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he
do
came
that.
to Tropic after and went, "You guys are amazing. Like, you big me up that much. You've convinced me I'm going to start my own YouTube channel.
That's amazing.
Called Balti,
In
and I'm
itself.
going to get a run cam and just use this."
Bearing in mind this guy was running a Mosin Nagant Springer all weekend, and he ran the shooting comp with it and the Thunderdome, and he did all right.
Though he came second in the Thunderdome with
Oh,
it.
that video I saw, because I didn't actually attend this Thunderdome because I was selling stuff, sorry, but I saw the video. Balti, he was just like whipping corners with this Mosin again.
funny as
Honestly, I saw him take people out through 3 bushes, like in a line. Like you got like the Landy bush, and it like Big Jord. He shot him like through all 3 bushes, and it was the most legendary shot ever. How the hell that thing is that accurate?
I'll throw some footage up now. So that footage, yeah, it's not the best quality. I'll try and get some. Hopefully, I've got the decent one by then. But it was. You got a rough idea of the sort of atmosphere that was created during the Thunderdome games.
Yeah.
Now the prizes were a bit more stripped back and simple. Thankfully, the vendors chucked in. So Whitesphere, big shout out to you guys. You chucked in for some extra prizes for the general comps, and it made that big difference.
What I think it was a large gun case for the AK, the AK or the SA-58.
That was the shooting comp. Yeah, they chucked in for that.
I saw
second
a guy
place,
with a nice little Colt. It was lovely.
Yeah, second place was, I believe, a pistol case.
I think first place was. I can't remember now. We'll have to check. If you
No,
remember
'cause
what
they
it is,
wanted,
put it in the comments.
I think they wanted the gun case to go with the first prize, which was the gun.
The gun, yeah.
And then I think they had a pistol case. No, sorry, a pistol as second prize, and then third prize was like a pistol case, like a a big like
I think pints were
pelly box looking
extra
thing
as well.
Oh yeah, and pints in each one.
Pint is key. But I'm just so happy with how that bit went. That is like the highlight of the weekend, and yes, it's still a growing thing because people didn't quite. I think now we've had the second year, people understand what the Thunder Games are about, or at least the ones who attended. But we need to try and push for more people, like the whole site, to go down.
Yeah, I think the problem was when we finished the shooting comp, which did it went on. By the time the Thunder Games went, you had 2/3 of your people that did the comp had left.
Yeah.
I think that was down to there not being prizes. There was no motivation for people to
maybe
be there.
Maybe run the shooting comp after the Thunder Games.
Yeah.
The Thunderdome, sorry.
And then that, I wouldn't say restricts people, but keeps more people there.
Yeah.
And more people
we'll
are getting
see.
involved.
We can tweak that when we start doing the itinerary, which will be after NAF. I'll be doing, getting the promo stuff ready, starting the advertising, and make sure we've named it.
Have you decided on a theme yet? Or is
Well,
that still
I'm kind
up
of
in the
tempted
air?
to stick with the Bush War theme. People seem to like it. We've had some cool suggestions like Kingdom Clash 3, Tokyo Drift, but to what was it? Kingdom Clash.
You should have called it Two Kingdom, Two Clash.
Two Kingdom, Two Clash. Basically anything that theme. But I think we're probably going to stick with the Bush War theme. If anyone would like to see anything particular, drop it in the comments. But I think it worked.
Anything
And let's be
niche is
honest.
good.
Let's be honest. It's not. The theme's just a nice added bit to it. It's not
Yeah,
the core.
It's not a theme,
No.
but it gives a
Because at the end
overall.
of the
Still saw
day, it's
people-
a banded game. Where each team's got a
Yeah,
band
it doesn't
colour,
matter,
so.
but it was still nice seeing those people that were in specific
Oh, there was
kits
so
for
many
their
niche
relative
ones.
team.
roadie gear. It was great.
What's his fucking name? I forgot his name.
Describe.
The guy from 6 Mil that
The
stayed
one
with
that
us.
won
Mars.
the- Mars.
Mars, that was it, Mars.
Great guy.
He obviously went all in on his roadie kit. He bought
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rig, he bought the trousers, the nice like shirt, the hat, everything about his kit was perfect.
He had the one ticket as well.
Yeah, so basically,
Yes, he won the-
we did a ticket giveaway. One of the lads kindly bought extra tickets to help promote the event, and we did a giveaway.
Pick up Joe.
Yes, Big Joe, friend shape. And what happened was we put a competition out, like, share, subscribe kind of thing, comment below, and you're in the chance for a free ticket. And he got 2 free tickets, and
He split it with his mate. Yeah.
and he went balls deep into it. He got all the kit. He seemed to have a good time. Plenty
Yeah,
of
no, he
plenty of Facebook and Insta posts. Seems
New
to be-
friend.
Yeah.
I mean, he socialised with us a lot, and
Yeah.
he had a great time.
Yeah, he's a regular at 6 Mil, so I see him
Friendly
a
guy.
fair amount.
Yeah, it worked well. We'll probably try and do another ticket giveaway next year, I think. 'cause
I would.
I had a few second-hand sales, which was good.
Yeah,
A few?
A few.
yeah, like half your house.
Just a lot of good stuff, and then some shit that just. I think Rob ended up buying quite a bit of it.
Rob.
Yeah, Rob did that
Class
for me
A
last
holder.
year.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the note of second-hand sales, we're thinking of making a designated
Yes.
second-hand sales zone. I don't mind people selling it out the back of the cars, but some people suggested like a designated zone. I'm on the fence. I don't mind people selling out the back of the cars, but what do you guys think?
Last year, I did it off a table
Mm-hmm.
next to the beer van.
Yeah.
It was only just me there doing it with Dougie.
So I started on the table, and then realised that people want to sit down after this hard day of airsoft,
Yeah.
and moved onto a rug on the floor.
I
Even
took,
if it's
I took
something
my
like
own
that.
table
Ah.
next to the beer van, so that way when people get in a beer, oh, what's that? And before you know it, I'd sold all my shit. And it worked. So I think having a designated area, people don't have to walk to the end of the site and see what people have got on the floor. It's literally all designated area, in like a mini marquee or something.
Obviously, keep it to
Set on a table,
players
done.
who are offloading second hand. Don't get vendors in to do.
Yeah, I mean the vendor
Yeah.
pictures are so cheap. If they were trying to do it via second hand, they're just being dickheads at that point. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. But you don't tend to see that.
No.
I'm sort of more leaning towards a designated area, but
I
I'm
think
open to
that,
suggestions.
yeah.
Keep it close though,
Yeah.
because you need the.
Yeah, I don't
foot
wanna walk
traffic.
to
I
the
think
side of the side to
stand,
see.
beer stand area, like you said, is probably a good shout.
Yeah.
To get more foot traffic in the evening, and the vendors are going to get more foot traffic by proxy because they'll come out. People will go over to the second-hand sales area.
So
Maybe a designated time, because then you're going to get a lot of people with second-hand sales. and get a
No,
bigger
all
crowd.
second-hand sales. are
maybe
gonna-
As of
announce
this
it
time.
more. Say,
Yeah.
look, second hand sales going on now.
Maybe like Saturday evening,
Yeah.
or Saturday lunch.
I'll be honest. I think allocate a bit of time on the Friday, because a lot of people are just chimwagging, walking round,
Yeah.
nosing, and obviously no one's playing, no one's worn out. I think that's a good
I
time,
mean,
or even
when
Friday night.
I was unloading my car on the Friday,
And-
and people were browsing.
Well, you
That's
must
what
have
they
had
were
30
doing on
people
front.
walk up to the back of your car
Yeah.
and have a nose.
Sorry, most of it was not for sale because I am a hoarder.
Yes, full grade A holder. But
Mhm.
it's I'm open to suggestions. We'll see. I can't really think of much else we need to cover.
No, I think
So we've gone over the prizes, the comp, the Sunday game. The few errors we had that we're going to address. Obviously, there'll be more when I do the first announcement for Kingdom Clash 3, and we get that podcast done. I'll make sure we
Do you have
really hone
Do you have
down
any
and
personal
address.
highlights?
Personal highlights for me. I think the Thunder games made it for me. The Thunderdome and that, because I enjoyed the shooting comp, but it's not the best spectacle because it's mostly indoors. But the Thunderdome and getting up in the second story buildings as a punter and watching down with a pint in my hand, because I'm very grateful I didn't have to actually work that, because the staff as such, Tropic Boys and the marshals, got stuck in and dealt with that, so I could chill out and have a pint. And just to be able to watch something that everyone as a group has created and it works, and it works really fucking well, and people are having a genuine laugh and chanting Balti, and you know what I mean. That was a highlight.
The highlight of that was when it was the speed softy guy with the jersey and the dye mask. He was having HPA issues with his pistol, and like it gassed out or something, and it misfired and it wasn't working, and we're all screaming, "Get him!" And he's like, "You just like, what?" Yeah. And he storms over and he just like whack, and that's it, done. The guy was a machine, but yeah, that was the highlight. I think you must have had 30 people screaming top of the lungs, "Get him!" Yeah. It was just. It was mad.
It was good. Now I did get that idea, and it's honourable mention as such. But the Shitsoft lot, Waldo's lot, that idea of the Thunderdome came from an event we attended with those guys, and they did like a 2v2 game where we were all sat on an embankment watching. I can't remember what it was now. Greg knows.
30 Airsoft meters.
Yes, that was glorious. But that idea. I'm trying to expand on that because it just works so fucking well. So tip me out to you. Well done. That was a cracking idea.
It's hard to make Airsoft an spectator sport as well.
Without slipping down the rabbit hole of Speedsoft.
And Speedsoft and all the.
I think it was just open to everyone. You milled some Speedsoft, casual player, rental. Yeah. It was everyone's welcome type thing.
Final highlight for me was giving the prizes away and the cheese. I've never in my life am I ever going to experience.
Have you mentioned the curse gun?
Oh yeah, of course. Dave Jewett, he did the curse gun comp. That was good.
Personal highlight for me was when you were trying to be super serious doing the safe debrief, and me and Harry were back
grinding
against each other.
Yeah, that was good.
I had a great time.
Deeply sensual.
That was really distracting.
We got a little smirk.
Yeah.
But no, the curse gun.
I think overall, Clash 2, big success. Thank you for everyone who helped and attended, and the vendors and everyone. Fantastic. I really enjoyed it. And it fully convinced me that Clash 3 is going to be a thing. We're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
So, on that note, I think we'll close the podcast out at that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also go check out the boys at White Sphere. Go check out the website, the socials, the YouTube, because, I promised them I'd do some bit of a plug, because they came and dug us out the shit.
How many subscribers are you on the YouTube now?
I don't even know. I think we're over 500 now.
That's amazing.
God,
to
you're
be
going to get
honest,
celebrity next?
Hardly.
Greg's a celebrity.
Oh my god,
it's Poots McCool. So, that being that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers, chaps.
I've got the best.